Okay. LCL level AD.
Can you repeat?
This guy's name is LCL level AD. That's the Russian
Oh yeah,
hood, right?
I think so.
Do you duo at all? You said you're solo mostly, right?
I've been duoing with one dude, but I prefer solo.
Okay, so really quick, let's go over some out of game things. First of all, so obviously you're tabbed when you check this and say Twitch Smurf, right? I don't want you to OPGG anyone. It doesn't matter to you who you're playing against. Every time you get into a game, you're not playing against another person. In your head, you're playing just against another set of ranges. Like the enemy champion is a set of their ranges and their abilities, and they have their limitations no matter how well they're played, right? And so you play against those weaknesses, not the enemy player. It doesn't matter if the enemy Twitch is double lift or a bronze 5 player. You will play the same way against him until he shows you that he fucks up, and then you bite on his mistake.
Yeah, makes sense.
Other than that, so what's your goal right now? Is your goal to get somewhere with League in terms of LCS streaming? Do you want to like just get to high elo and just be a guy that's known for hey, that's that Trundle player in Master Challenger, or what? What is it?
At first, I would like to get the challenger, and maybe then start to practice other champions.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So that's I like that you said if someone flash or whatever, time it because you want to start timing summoners. That's very good. That's definitely something you want to be doing if you're trying to get the challenger.
I try it, but it's pretty hard.
Oh yeah, it is, and it's gonna take you a while to get used to it. But okay, so for the new viewers, the person currently being coached is a Trundle 1trick who's high elo US high Diamond 1, so he's playing with usually Master Challengers in his game maybe a couple times a week, right? Or probably more than that, because supports usually get filled into higher games.
Yeah, when it's not much players online. I
Yeah,
will
you get put into really high games, I bet. Okay, so that's another thing too that I wanted to talk to you about. But one sec, we'll go into this approach into the lane. All right. Um, So another thing is you obviously play very late, right? It's okay that we went back a little too far because we'll be talking. But you play really late for your time zone. So what you want to think, pretty much there's this correlation where if you're going to be playing um, earlier in the day or like during peak hours, then you're going to be playing more in your MMR bracket. So like Diamond 1, Low Master. But if you wanted to get experience against better players, then if you do it versus like in obviously low population times, then you're going to get really high level games. So that's up to you. If you're focused on climbing hard right now, then you're going to want to play more during peak hours. If you're focused on learning and then climbing over the long run, then you can play versus those challengers or whatever it may be, because you're going to get punished way harder for your mistakes there, and it'll be way easier to see where you fucked up.
Okay.
Okay, so I like what you did there, actually. That I don't understand why they don't respect this. That's pretty unreal. But this is very good to have. So if anyone like playing melee supports, especially like Trundle or in many scenarios Braum, if what this support should be doing is maintaining here, pretty much inside lane into bush like control, right?
Yeah.
And the melee support will always have to sit here because if he works this fog of war, then that's the only way he can really get to any of them to auto them out of the surprise factor. Or yeah, it maintains more control. So what's going to happen is they're either going to have to place the ward and then they don't have one ward for a gank. So you time the 1 minute and then you just wait and tell your jungler, hey, they're not going to have vision for a long while after this because their cooldowns are pretty long. One of them puts one here, one of them puts one out there, even if they have like let's say 3 or 4 total because they saved both of them for lane and river instead of using one at level 1, then there's still a lot of opportunities for you to make a play with your jungler in that regard. So this is a good thing to do. If they're not going to respect both bushes and Karma's just going to have that bad of positioning, then yeah, go for this. You shouldn't take the tower shot here.
Yeah.
If you used, yeah, like there's no way. The thing is, I think what you're, what's going on in your head right now is that you can flash auto bite to kill, right?
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, this is a very common analogy I tell players. Is one sec, let me get some water. All right, so in soccer, when there's a striker one-on-one with a goalie, there's a couple things the goalie can do, okay? So let's say this is the box for the goalie, and this is him, and this is the striker. He has two options. One of them is to stay in the box so that he covers as much of, like with his wingspan, he can cover about this much of the box. And usually they want to pick one side to lean more towards, especially after the ball is kicked, right? Or he can rush the striker and go one-on-one with him for the pressure of it, because then the striker has this guy right in front of him, and now his angle, instead of being this to shoot, it's this if he's lefty, and this if he's righty, right? And so he has to pull something off, or he has to skill on him. So, but even then, like, the defenders will be running back, so he's given time. The one thing the goalie cannot do, right, is go out to this guy and then be indecisive and then float here. Because then there's no pressure on this guy, so he still has most of this on the other side, and like this, there's no pressure right in front of the ball, and then the goalie isn't blocking off any part of the goal for himself. So this guy could even potentially lob it over the goalie's head into the net. But anyway, so the theory applies to League of Legends as well. If you're going to make a decision, whether you turn back on this karma in the split second, whether you turn back on this karma, by the way, the correct answer, if he healed already, was to flash. If he hadn't healed, I knew he flashed, but I hadn't checked heal at the time. If he didn't heal, then you turn on karma. But if it's heat of the moment like this, you have to make your decision quick. You can't take the tower shot and do something in the middle. The same thing applies for, let's say, if your team is doing Nasher, you either all as 5 have to turn and drop the Baron aggro, or you have to finish the Nasher together. Otherwise, you will always lose because of the lack of focus. Okay, so let me check just one last time if he did use that heal since we were on other topics.
He didn't use it.
He didn't. Yeah, I didn't think so. Which is smart of him. I think they're probably duo, or they just got really lucky with this because they probably have to have some good communication to know that she's gonna exhaust, so he doesn't have to use heal.
Yeah.
Okay, your pathing, like your direct input, is pretty good in terms of your mouse work, especially considering this is obviously a champion you're very comfortable with. So that's good, but again, yeah, just that decision making, either commit to one or the other, and if you know that Ezreal hadn't used heal and he only used flash, then you just turn around and kill the karma, or put a lot of damage on her, I should say. She had flash, so she wasn't gonna die. Okay, I did not know it was Twitch jungle on the enemy team, since we were paying attention to lane. Yeah, but you see him on the minimap. Obviously, this was happening, right? So heat of the moment, like I'm watching this in hindsight, and I even still wasn't paying attention to that as much because I was focused on this. But like in hindsight, yeah, this is going to look really obvious, but you're going to have to train yourself in game to be doing this as well. So you see this, if you ever see this come up other than like an event that happened down here, so let's say you guys got a kill and then there was an extra event after that or whatever, or if you didn't get a kill and then an event happens off to the side, it's always going to be important in one way or another to tell you something on the other side of the map, right? So you see Twitch killed TF. So this is, yeah, check for the headlines as soon as you get out of a situation. You see he died, and then even if you hadn't been looking at your minimap because you were obviously focused down here beforehand, now if you look at your minimap, you see, okay, TF died. Where did he die? It's right here. And he died to a Twitch jungle who had red buff, obviously, because he started this side. So, yeah. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And then, yeah, once Twitch opens up here, you need to just leave.
I fuck up this pretty hard.
Alright. No comment. I think you should get a refillable here, honestly.
I think I do, actually.
Yeah. Refillable and pink is okay. I don't know if you should... actually, yeah, since Lucian will be getting there anyway, and someone will be picking up the XP, and obviously the CS, then that's okay for you to wait for the pink word gold there. Okay. That's good by the Rek'Sai. And he can... I don't know why Zed is leaning down to the bot side. Once you get to higher elo, like once you get to maybe like 100 to 150 LP master, maybe no, maybe even more than that. What you can do is if you read the mid laner, the enemy mid laner, a lot of the time they'll give away where the jungler is, where the enemy jungler is, like what side of the river he's on by the way that they're leaning, if they don't have vision.
Okay.
So yeah, especially during idle time, you should be monitoring lanes as well. Get used to it, because then you're going to be able to tell where the wave is going to form for if you're going to roam, etc. Okay, nice. Here you should push out and take the earth. Either push out and take the earth, or actually no, Rek'Sai should stay and you guys should push Ezreal off his CS. That's what should happen. That's interesting. He doesn't have flash either, so...
I should have tanked there.
Yeah, see, what happened was when you started tanking it, he believed. He had the faith. Leave this. Leave this. Oh, shit. Okay. You should leave that, because it was going to push back. It's not that big a deal, because I think it's still going to push back because of the enemy reinforcement wave, but it's not going to be as hard. So you just denied your ADC like 3 to 4 minions by hitting that 1 minion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then other than that, yeah, if you're going to initiate the tank, then especially if you're a solo player, he's going to assume you're hard committing to it. Because the thing is, it takes him a second to realize, oh, okay, he's tanking, I can go in. So then he does that, right? And then he's going to take the same amount of time to think, oh, okay, he's leaving aggro. So, and he already used his E, right? So it's not like he's going to be able to E out of the aggro when he realizes it just a second late. Because you have to realize there's like the ping influencing him, and then human reaction time to what you're doing if he's going to play off of you like that. Did you control Alt or control A it as well and copy?
Yeah. I got
I
it
didn't. Yeah, I
from
didn't see
your
if it went up or not.
from your other coaching video.
Uh huh.
I didn't do this before.
Got you. Oh, this is dangerous. See, yeah, they just saw Twitch, but what Karma could have been doing there was setting up for him. Because if they just told him that the ward is in river, then what he does, if he actually knows what he's doing with his champion, which I assume someone picking Twitch jungle would, otherwise they're trolling, then he's gonna sit right outside of the vision of this brush to the extreme. So he would probably assume that it's at the very tip. He'll sit outside the vision, he'll Q, and then he'll come in. And even if he pops out when he's right here, you guys are still pushed up. You're screwed. You know what I mean? So yeah, you should be a lot more careful about that. But since they saw Twitch, you can. I mean, you shouldn't even trade there. Honestly, they fucked that up really bad because you have a severe minion disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was a bad trade to take. But like I said, mechanically speaking, you get yourself out of those situations. So yeah, but you want to save the outplays for only when they have to happen. Okay, let's see if you could have done anything better there. I can never see the correct number because the toolbar for some reason goes over. I think that's because of the epic pen. Alright, there we go. Oh no, he just got hit by the W. That's kind of big, I guess. I don't know. You can call Rek'Sai down to hold this wave, I think. Because they know where Twitch is, and bot lane's dead lane anyway, so the solo lanes should be playing careful regardless. Yeah. Okay. What? I don't... Alright. Rek'Sai has interesting decision-making skills. He should have definitely come down. He could have held the wave and taken some of the minions and then saved others for Lucian. That would have been perfect for you guys. Have you been rushing Ruby Sightstone or no?
No, but I saw they do it in
They
LCS?
do it in LCS because the jungler is going locket. So don't let that fool you. There's a lot of people, and I've seen it in solo queue too, that have been rushing Ruby on supports. But in LCK especially, the reason that they go the Ruby is because then they'll go face of the mountain and the act or like whatever it is that they may need, like Mikhail's, the item active, can actually really benefit from it. Like from the HP and the fact that the passive reduces item active times, so or CDs. But
But why do
the
they
reason
build
that
it
they are
first?
okay with it is because yeah, the jungler is going locket, so
But you don't benefit from the cooldowns.
you don't benefit from the cooldowns until you finish your first item. Yeah, I know. But it's the in the beginning, it's because they want the extra ward and for the HP, the cheap HP.
Okay.
The extra ward is pretty huge before your jungler can get meaningful vision down because they have to get pacing or whatever, depending on the matchup. Oof. I think honestly, by the way, you're buying too many pink wards. I don't say that very often, but yeah, like for how the lane is going and how volatile it is, the only pink ward you should keep one pink ward on you, and it should be for Twitch. That's it.
But if I have 150G, should I just save it?
No, you should always keep one pink on you, right? But then if you want to save the rest of the money, you can. In that scenario, especially if you have refillable. If you're gonna exhaust late, then don't exhaust at all. That's another one of those goalie versus striker situations I was telling you about. That situation was just incorrect to go for because of the fog of war. I think correct. Yeah, this is. You guys should be happy with this. Because you didn't see Twitch. This is okay. This is okay. Up to here, this is okay. That's what I'm saying. But, like, Shen shouldn't go all the way there. And if he is, he needs to stay right there and be ready to taunt out to escape if necessary. Not move up any more than he already did. Because of the Twitch. Because they could have just 2v1'd him and turned around. Oh my god. Yeah, see. That's an okay dive to go for, but like I said before, once you realize that like if Shen moves up here and then it looks this free, I don't know. And then Zed came out of Fog of War by the time you guys were already pushed up. There's no ward here, right? Which that's another incorrect thing is like I guess it's because you just walked right into the lane and you guys started fighting, right? There's no wards anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know what was wrong here. Okay, you should walk out through mid, dude. Like,
Okay.
you should either walk out through mid or in this scenario, since the mid laner is not there, so you can't pull off, like, a gank or anything like that, or they don't need vision at the moment. What you do is you walk through here. And then you ward the river and you ward the tri-bush. And then you come back to lane. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But if the mid laner is there and has pressure on the lane, then you can walk straight to mid and move through there. Like, obviously, you usually won't be able to pull off a lane gank because most support's straight up. But if you can get like a cheeky angle on them, a lot of times it'll throw them off. Or even just to get vision down for the mid laner, especially if they have a good matchup. Or a roam champion like TF. Yeah, see, so you actually, yeah, you guys didn't fight as soon as you got into lane. You had time to ward, and that would have went way different if you had seen that Twitch was coming. Right?
Yep. Also, if I check the mid lane,
Mm-hmm.
you can see the Twitch coming from there.
Yeah, but that's like, I don't know, you could think that that's for his buff or whatever it may be, because, yeah, if you see Twitch Zed here, no, see, you're focused on combat. If you're going to be watching him for his movements and, like, focusing on your input on this side, then there's no way you see the Twitch moving through here. I don't expect you to do that. I mean, but at the same time, like, you should be checking here every 3 to 5 seconds that you're idling. You know, like, your minimap should always, your eyes should always be floating. Because otherwise, you're letting yourself play on autopilot in one way or another, and you can't do that. That's another thing we'll talk about, like non-autopilot play, where you actually focus on every single decision you're making.
Mhm.
You know what? Actually, Lucian misplayed pretty hard. I think he could have gotten out of tower range there, and if he didn't take that extra shot and then lined up for the Twitch ult right behind the Shen, then they could have turned it with your exhaust. Yeah. So there was the initial macro mistake and then Lucian's micro mistake. Hmm. Yep, okay. You walk through mid this time. That's good. You need to sweep the pixel. Well, walk through the pixel first to see if they have a pink in there, and then sweep it if they don't.
Mhm.
No, this is a bad angle. This is a really bad angle. You need to be at the very edge of where you can ward this bush. Ward the bush as you walk in this direction so that you know Twitch isn't here. Unless he invised. If he did, then you're shit out of luck. You would have died anyway from coming from this angle. But I think this is a good move to make, honestly. And it's low risk, high reward. So you can place the ward here as you're walking. You kill two birds with one stone. And you keep walking this way to cut him off. If you round it out like this, especially if you click this far away and into the lane like that, and it auto paths you like this, like it legit auto paths you to the wall, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's you could potentially lose out on the kill because of that. Yeah, you guys could have fought that, honestly. I think you could have. If you slow played it and waited for Lucian to be able to get up and do his damage, it would have been fine. But it would have had to be it would have had to have been a small skirmish so that once you have your ultimate, then you can fully commit. Oof. Yeah, that was unnecessary flash. I can rewind if you want to see it, but I think
I wasn't so sure if this dies.
well, the thing is, Ezreal doesn't have flash here, right? Or at least by the time you get up to him there. Wow, okay, that was a good flash by Lucian. Yeah, you should know Lucian's E-timer. He's been in the meta for like so long. He got 3 rotations of his passive off, so he gets to reset back. Well, it's like 3 rotations of the passive, and at this stage of the game, he has to wait a couple seconds, but he definitely had that to move up. And then, yeah, actually, you flashing also had made it so that he ate the Q to the face, but because he got the dangerous game first, he lived. Huh. Yeah, I think you could have just saved it, and then if Ezreal had like flashed away or something, then it's fine. I think you got scared and pretty much did that like really basic mistake of trying to use your flash as an auto reset. When it doesn't really work like that, it's not gonna make you auto any faster. But yeah, you were in range of him. Okay, you see Twitch mid. You can finish. Bless his heart. Okay, yeah, you can finish the tower. Still. Twitch hasn't left, and they have 2 dead. Jeez. No, you don't want to do that. Yeah, you should have just left. I swear to God, if you get out again just because you dodged this guy, okay,
I wanted Shen
not
ult,
this time.
but he ulted the full HP Rek'Sai.
Yeah, God bless. What the fuck, Shen ult me and was dead.
Rage.
One more thing, if you want to climb this is gonna sound super obvious and cliche, but yeah, don't type if it's not something productive. Because even if it's something light like that, there's so many kids. I mean, I know that in EU people are a little more. They have like more of a tolerance for flaming because they're so used to it. But there still will be guys that aren't used to it or like get really hurt by stuff like that, even at the slightest, and they'll AFK or start trolling the game or not focus and start typing back. And then at that point, you lose the game straight up. So it's not worth the risk. It might lose you like 25, 30 games out of 300, right? Or something like that. But even then, that adds up really fast. You need to leave. You can't be there. Because you have to look at your own minimap. And then you have to hit tab. You haven't tabbed at all. Because if you tab, you see if Shen has his TP. And then it becomes okay for you to fight this if he has the TP. Because she's low, and then she's So essentially you're taking a fight where it's like these two are like half a champ because she can pretty much just block skill shots, give one shield or so. But this one, if she hard commits at all, she can die pretty fast. Especially if Shen's here, and then since Lucian can just ignore this and walk, and then he wins the trade 1v1 against Ezreal if they start walking into here, I think that becomes okay for you to take. But even then, it's risky, and you have to have all the information beforehand. If you didn't, which you obviously then you hadn't checked to see and everything beforehand, so yeah, if you didn't, then the correct move is to just leave right away. Whew. Pocket pick Lucian, man. Nice. Why aren't you using health potions?
I'm forgetting.
There we go.
I don't buy this item too often.
Yeah. Okay. What do you usually go? Defensive boots or Lucidities or what? Swifties?
Usually Swifties, yeah.
Swifties, yeah.
But if they have a lot of stuns, I will get the Mercury or whatever.
Yeah, Swifties versus Ez is nice, and yeah, they do have a good amount of slows on their team. For sure. Those are good here. But since your team has this much open map pick potential, right? So you have like the TF, the Shen, what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's really important for you to get CDR after you get the Swifties, because if you have the CDR, then like you're gonna be able to make picks pretty much all the time. Like every time that you guys have a global up, you'll be able to just pretty much chain pillar someone
Mm-hmm.
for the kill. Alright, yeah, that was just another time overextending, kind of like at the Dragon, without thinking about the situation you were in first. You don't have backup a lot of these times, so that's a macro thing you're going to have to really watch out for, but as soon as you fix that, that's one of the things that like gets fixed, and then all of a sudden you start winning a ton more games. It's one of the ones that has a lot of impact on your immediate play if you can manage to play with a little more discipline.
I actually went tabbies this game. Is it fine? They had so much
They have,
AD.
yeah, if they're full AD, that's fine, yeah, they are. They have double AD carry, yeah. Tabbies is actually even better than the Swifties here. The reason I like the Swifties initially is because that way you can pretty much move in front of your team and tank all the skill shots that slow, and then they pretty much are like they don't even have the soft CC on them, unless the other frontliner catches just a little bit of slow off of the edge of it. But then it's like Rek'Sai or Shen who also have tenacity one way or another because they have the right tree, which gives you tenacity. So yeah, you'd be totally fine going that there from an offensive standpoint. But because they're full AD, your tabbies are so cost efficient, and the passive on them is so disgusting that yeah, there's really no better option. Okay, they just gave you so much. That's why I say like don't rage, because honestly, as stupid as your teammates can be, the enemy team is going to be just as stupid. And obviously, you make the same mistakes as they do very often, but that's what we're here to fix. So yeah, like you can always rely on the enemy team fucking up just as much, if not more, as your team.
Hmm.
Especially with something as busted as Trundle Pillar, which you can use to make so many picks like that. This is a good rotation by you. That's much better. Actually having Rek'Sai with you and then knowing that you have the tempo advantage into warding that side of the jungle because there wasn't anyone around. Did you read the change they made to tower tanking and the aggro? It didn't apply there, but if you
If
if
I'm
you're
up,
in tower range and you attack someone who is out of tower range, you still pick up aggro now.
yeah.
So yeah, just watch out for that one. It's really relevant to your champion, obviously, because Trundle starts tower diving early on and doesn't stop for the rest of the game in many games. I'd say honestly, you could have went the tabbies before you finished Face of the Mountain, by the way, and then you finish Face of the Mountain and then finish Ruby Sightstone here,
Hmm.
and then you can go Frozen Heart maybe. Yeah, Frozen Heart would be good because none of your other tanks can get it, and it's versus full AD team. That's good communication to tell them that you're gonna be, so you can tank. That's the kind of stuff you should be putting in chat. Good shit. Ah, there it is. But I would go the Ruby first, yeah, like I said. Because the HP it's going to give you, especially now that you have armor backing you up, is really good. And then you get the item active for the item active CD reduction for the Face of the Mountain.
That makes sense.
Okay. Nope, 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 nope. This is a big no-no. That should be another death, man. You're 2 and 5 here. Nice. That's a good idea to ult there. Because you want to be able to take her down as quickly and efficiently as possible so that you can rotate on to the next thing. Which honestly here is just going to be finishing up, setting up vision, which you're out of wards. So you're going to want to, you should be thinking about basing soon because you're out of wards. And now since Shen is resetting, or sorry, Rek'Sai is resetting, and the rest of your team looks like they're going for a more passive approach to how they're going to play out this lead, then you should just be. And you're just wasting exhaust.
I wanted Lucian to catch up.
Yeah. But the thing is, if they, yeah, I don't know. If they had kept running, I feel like they could have gotten away.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, this is I think objectively wrong, but it's one of the things that's just like, in theory, it's wrong from the beginning, but it works out because it's fucking Fiesta time.
Yeah. Even if it works out, it doesn't mean it's right.
It doesn't what?
It doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's right, exactly. I'm glad you understand that because it takes some time for some players to get it.
I mean, this is surrender, but early game was Clown
Yeah,
Fiesta.
for sure. Okay, do you have questions?
Not really.
Jesus Christ. Twitch fails puts the fucking tits right up on the screen after the video. I have to start pausing before the end of the video because I get the most randomest shit coming up on the like recommended videos. I don't even really watch YouTube much. But anyway, okay, so to recap, there's a lot of shit, honestly. I'm not going to remember all of it right off the top of my head right now because of the most recent stuff we talked about. But yeah, when you go back over the VOD, there'll be a lot. I want you to take notes over everything, and like I've told every other um, a high elo player that I've been working with lately, if you've seen from the videos, make sure to be having that notepad out. And every single time you go into game, you want to focus on one thing before and after. Um, or before, during, and after. Sorry. So like, let's say you go into a game and you say, all right, this game, the one thing I'm going to focus on is I'm not going to walk into the enemy fog of war without vision, without backup behind me, to ward or whatever it may be. Right. The next game it would be, um, let's say this time around I'm going to take better paths around approaching bot lane based on what the how the waves are set up, or I'm going to pay much more attention to the rest of the map in general. But focus on that one thing, because like one student came to me and they were like, I'm kind of struggling here a little bit, and I told them, well, what are you doing in terms of improvement? And it's like, well, I'm trying to focus on everything as I'm playing, but you should only be focusing on one thing, because then you improve that one thing, and then you move on, and then once that other thing gets rusty and you feel like it's lacking again, then you go back to it after you've already fixed everything else at that basic level, and you just add on to it more and more. That's how you learn. Like that's why the teams that do 10 to 15 hours make it actually productive, is when they actually have staffs that are willing to teach them like one thing by one thing how they can improve. So yeah, do that in your games. For trying to climb, play at more peak hours. If you just want the challenge, like I see you had Beansu here, like so you get some LCS players in some of your games. Then yeah, you can play at night. If you find a good duo, I would say play with them, but it would have to be someone that probably has main account in like mid to high master, or maybe even into challenger. Because if you duo with like just some random AD carry that's in D1 or low master, then it's going to be hard to pull off wins because he's going to be making a shit ton of mistakes. So you're better off just soloing and hoping that there's a better duo on your team if you're going to get a duo. So um, yeah. Other than that, out of game stuff, always think about not autopiloting. That's really, really big. Because if you autopilot, you're not going to learn, and you're just going to lose all the time. You're going to do stupid stuff. You're going to go back to old habits. And it seems to me like you're actually really dedicated to improving, and you want to break into the next level of Master Challenger from being D1. And obviously your KDA, your win rate on Trundle, they're very impressive. But at the same time, you see that it's because of your micro, but there's so much macro to fix that you wouldn't even have to be this good mechanically if you had all the macro, and then the micro is an added bonus. So yeah, but you,
Yeah.
you said you don't have any specific questions.
No.
Okay. What about your runes and masteries?
Mm, I don't know. I have like 5 rune pages.
I'd say it's pretty standard. Like when I was looking through your OPGG earlier, like a couple days ago when you had linked it, the times where you had decided between grasp and bond were actually like I could see that they were correct. So yeah, you're doing that right, which is the only thing that really varies in masteries for Trundle. And then if you have 5 different rune pages, I'll look at the OPGG after we're done with this and make sure that they're all clean. And other than that, I'm pretty sure you're all min maxed out for the out of game stuff. So all right.
Maybe one question.
Mm-hmm.
When to go ignite? I see it.
When to
The,
go ignite?
yeah, I always go exhaust unless
If the
I'm
enemy
in
team has
Soraka.
assassin, yeah, if the enemy team has an assassin like this said, you always want to go exhaust, especially because you only have one dedicated peel tool for your ADC, unless you could get the bite slow in, but even then, that's nothing major. Um, yeah, then you can always go exhaust, but if you're against a lot of sustain, you can go ignite. Like so much of it that it's worth taking over the exhaust. Which a lot of times, if the enemy team has a front line like Shen, Vladimir, Rek'Sai, or something like that, then it's like pretty much always obvious to take ignite, unless the enemy team has a really low range AD that you think you can exhaust as soon as a fight starts or something like that.
Hmm.
So yeah. If that's the case, then you can go Ignite. But right now, the meta is a lot of the time to go Exhaust on a melee support like Trundle or Braum if you don't have like a super winning matchup or the enemy team doesn't have a lot of sustain. So yeah.
But this game, DF has exhaust.
Yeah, but at the
Should be
same
deck 2
time,
exhaust.
yeah, like, well, you have to think about it. The ideal situation for your team is a 1-3-1. So TF won't always be with you. Let's say if Zed goes in initially, like onto Lucian off of a flank, so your exhaust won't be there, like, at the time during. And double exhaust will just shut an assassin down and the Twitch jungle down so hard that, especially early to mid game, that you're just going to be able to snowball the lead.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, okay. If you have any other questions, concerns, anything like that, a good way to ask questions, right, would be if you have something specific like in this lane matchup, I died during this skirmish. So what could I have done better here? Like you can even take like a GIF or like a Place TV video or a screenshot of anything specific that you would want me to see, and then I'll give you the answer to it. Or if it's something as simple as like itemization, like how could I have itemized better against this? And then just screenshot the end comps, like the compositions of you and the enemy team, and then that's much better. A lot of people ask super generic questions like how do I build Lissandra? And it's like, well, there's 30 million different build paths you could go for most of the champions right now. Itemization League is incredibly situational. So, yeah, make sure just that you're giving as much detail as possible if you want the best answer possible for any questions that you're going to be asking me in Skype.
Okay.
All right, cool. But, okay, man, it was a pleasure.
Yep.
And